Listen, just for a moment, beyond the traffic, beyond the chatter, beyond the endless scroll. Can you hear it? The almost silence, the space between sounds. And within that space, sometimes, if you're very still, you might hear something else. The whisper of wind through branches, the distant call of a bird, or perhaps the sound of a single leaf letting go. We often see falling as an end, a loss, a small death. But what if it's something else entirely? What if that quiet descent, that gentle return to the earth, holds a meaning far deeper than we imagine? What if it's not a finality, but a form of devotion? This moment invites you to explore the hidden beauty in endings and transitions, how letting go can be an act of profound trust, finding sacredness in the seemingly ordinary cycles of nature. If your soul feels a quiet curiosity, a gentle resonance, stay. Let the world soften. Let the listening deepen. Perhaps even the smallest sound can hold the universe. Find a quiet space, either outdoors near trees or indoors where you can bring the image of autumn woods to mind. Close your eyes gently or soften your gaze. Become aware of your breath, flowing in, flowing out. A natural rhythm, like the gentle sway of branches in a breeze. Now, picture a single leaf high on a branch. See its color, perhaps golden yellow, or fiery red, or russet brown. See the delicate veins, the stem connecting it to the tree. Feel the coolness in the air, the scent of damp earth and decaying leaves, the fragrance of autumn. Imagine a soft breeze stirring the branches. The leaf trembles slightly, holding on, yet ready. There's no struggle, no resistance, just a quiet yielding to the inevitable dance of seasons. And then it lets go. Watch it drift downwards, spiraling gently, catching the light. There's a grace in its descent, a silent acceptance. It's not falling from something, but returning to something. Returning to the earth that nourished the tree, that will receive the leaf, transforming it back into soil, into potential new life. Feel the stillness in this image, the profound peace in this act of letting go. It's not an event of sadness, but of completion, a cycle fulfilled. Allow your own breath to deepen slightly. Feel the grounding presence of the earth beneath you. Let go of any tension you might be holding, in your jaw, your shoulders, your hands. Let go like the leaf. Trust the process. Trust the return. In this opening silence, feel the quiet dignity of the falling leaf. It asks for nothing. It announces nothing. It simply is, in its final, graceful movement. A silent offering, a wordless prayer. But our human experience often resists this natural flow of letting go. We cling. We hold on to moments, relationships, identities, possessions, long after their season has passed. We fear endings, seeing them as failures or losses rather than necessary transitions. The sound of a leaf falling might be peaceful in nature, but within us, the idea of letting go often triggers anxiety, grief, or a sense of diminishment. We fight against change. We try to control outcomes, to hold back the inevitable tides of time and circumstance. This resistance creates inner friction, a tension between the way things are and the way we wish them to be. We mourn what is lost, rather than finding grace in the process of release. We see the falling leaf not as a prayer, but as a reminder of our own mortality, our own vulnerability to change and decay. This fear can make us rigid, unwilling to adapt. We build walls around our hearts, afraid of the pain of loss. We accumulate things, seeking security in the external, forgetting the freedom that comes from non-attachment. The tension is also in our perception of value. We often value growth, accumulation, holding on, more than release, simplification, letting go. A falling leaf might seem insignificant, a piece of natural debris, easily overlooked or swept away. We miss the sacredness in the small, the profound wisdom in the cycle of return. We are conditioned to strive, to achieve, to hold fast, and the gentle surrender of the leaf feels counterintuitive, even weak. This internal conflict, the desire for permanence in an impermanent world, the fear of loss, the resistance to natural cycles, creates a subtle, pervasive tension. We feel it in our bodies as tightness, in our minds as worry, in our hearts as a reluctance to fully embrace the present moment, knowing it too shall pass. We stand beneath the autumn trees, watching the leaves fall, and feel a dissonance between the effortless grace outside and the clinging resistance within. Once, the Venerable Ananda, the Buddha's attendant, reflected on the nature of existence. He considered the body, its arising and passing away. He contemplated feelings, perceptions, mental formations, and consciousness, all subject to the same law of impermanence. He saw how beings cling to these transient phenomena, mistaking them for a permanent self, and thus creating suffering. Seeking deeper understanding, he approached the Buddha and asked about the path to liberation. The Buddha often taught about impermanence, anicca, unsatisfactoriness, dukkha, and not-self, anatta, as the three characteristics of all conditioned existence. He explained that understanding and fully realizing these truths is key to detachment and freedom. In one discourse, the Buddha used the analogy of foam, a bubble, a mirage, a plantain trunk, which has no core, and a magical illusion to describe the empty, transient nature of the five aggregates: form, feeling, perception, mental formations, consciousness. He emphasized that a wise disciple, seeing the aggregates in this way, becomes disenchanted. Being disenchanted, their passion fades away. With the fading of passion, they are liberated. When liberated, there is the knowledge, liberated. They understand. Birth is destroyed. The holy life has been lived. What had to be done has been done. There is no more for this state of being. This realization isn't a morbid focus on decay, but a clear seeing that frees the mind from clinging to what is inherently fleeting. It's an understanding that allows one to live fully in the present, appreciating the arising and passing of all things without grasping or aversion. Dhammapada, verse 277. All conditioned things are impermanent. When one sees this with wisdom, one turns away from suffering. This is the path to purification. Dhammapada, Chapter 20, The Path, verse 277 source. This teaching on the three characteristics and the aggregates is central to many Buddhist suttas, e.g., Anatalakkhana Sutta, Samyutta Nikaya 22.59, and is reflected in the Dhammapada verses on impermanence. The Buddha's teachings on impermanence, anicca, offer a profound lens through which to view the falling leaf. Seeing the leaf not just as an object, but as a conditioned phenomenon, brought into existence by causes and conditions, sun, water, soil, the tree, and inevitably subject to cessation, aligns perfectly with this core insight. The leaf's fall isn't a random event or a tragedy. It's the natural unfolding of anicca. When we see this clearly, as the Dhammapada verse suggests, we begin to turn away from suffering. Why? Because suffering often arises from our resistance to impermanence, our clinging to things as if they were permanent. We want the leaf to stay green forever, the summer to never end, the moment of joy to last eternally. This clinging, this desire for permanence in an impermanent world, is the root of much of our dissatisfaction, dukkha. The falling leaf, seen with wisdom, becomes a teacher. Its silent descent demonstrates the truth the Buddha pointed to. Everything that arises must pass away. Form, feeling, perception, thoughts, even consciousness itself, all are like the leaf, subject to change and cessation. There is no permanent, unchanging self or essence within the leaf, just as there is no permanent self within the aggregates that make up our own experience, anatta. Realizing this doesn't mean becoming indifferent or nihilistic. Instead, it fosters a deep sense of peace and freedom. When we understand that clinging to the transient causes suffering, we can begin to let go. We can appreciate the leaf's vibrant green in summer, its fiery color in autumn, and its graceful return to the earth, without needing to hold on to any particular stage. The sound of the leaf falling transforms from a symbol of loss into a reminder of liberation. It's the sound of reality unfolding naturally. It's a call to presence, to appreciating the beauty of this moment, precisely because it is fleeting. It's a prayer, not in the sense of asking for something, but in the sense of acknowledging and aligning with the fundamental nature of existence. The leaf's surrender is an act of wisdom, an embodiment of non-resistance. By observing it, by truly hearing its silent prayer of impermanence, we are invited to cultivate the same wisdom within ourselves, to loosen our grip on expectations, attachments, and identities, to find peace not in holding on, but in gracefully letting go, moment by moment, breath by breath, like the falling leaf returning to the earth. Bring your awareness back to your breath. Feel the gentle rise and fall. Let each breath be an anchor to this present moment. Now, recall the image of the single leaf letting go, drifting down. Or, if you prefer, listen intently to the quiet sounds around you, imagining the soft rustle or gentle thud of a leaf landing nearby. As you breathe in, acknowledge the arising of this moment, this sensation, this sound. As you breathe out, practice letting go. Let go of the thought that just passed. Let go of the need to label or analyze the sound. Let go of any tension held in the body. Breathe in, presence. Breathe out, release. Imagine each out-breath carries away a layer of clinging, of resistance. Like the leaf detaching effortlessly from the branch, allow thoughts, feelings, and sensations to arise and pass without holding on to them. Notice the space between thoughts, the silence between sounds. Rest in that space. Feel the inherent peace in simply being, without needing things to be different. Contemplate the idea. All conditioned things are impermanent. Feel the truth of this in your own experience. The breath arises and passes. Sounds arise and pass. Thoughts arise and pass. There is a constant flow, a constant letting go. Can you find a sense of ease within this flow? Can you trust the process, like the leaf trusts its return to the earth? Stay with this gentle awareness. Breathing in, receiving the moment. Breathing out, letting go. Hearing the silence, hearing the subtle sounds, perhaps even hearing the echo of a falling leaf as a quiet reminder. This too shall pass. And in that passing, there is peace. There is freedom. There is the silent prayer of acceptance. If every ending, every letting go, seen not as loss but as a return, a completion, a silent prayer, how would this change the way we navigate our lives? What beauty might we find in the transitions we usually resist? When we learn to listen deeply to the wisdom of impermanence, echoed in the fall of a single leaf, what kind of freedom begins to bloom within us? May you find peace in the cycles of nature and the wisdom of letting go. If this reflection resonated, please share it or save it for a quiet moment. Subscribe to join us in exploring the profound beauty hidden in the ordinary. Listen closely. The world is always whispering its prayers.